Good morning students, welcome back to online classes of VLSI design. In today's class we are going to see our next chapter, that is your subsystem data path. So in that one we will be having different kinds of shifters, adders, multipliers, SRAM, DRAM, like memory elements and etc. So before moving to our next chapter, we just revise what were the topics that we have discussed in the previous chapter. So second chapter was completely about your VLSI design process, where we have seen the VLSI design flow, right? I hope everyone remembers the VLSI design flow, the chart that we have seen, the flow chart. Then we have seen the MOS layers, what are the different kinds of MOS layers, the stick diagrams, which are very important. We will be having different color codings for that one, the stick diagrams, plus very importantly we have seen the design rules, and after that we have seen about your layouts. So stick diagrams and layouts are the pictorial or a cartoonic representation of your what we can say circuit diagrams, right? Logical diagrams. So everything we have seen in the second chapter. After that we have seen about your gate level design, the part B. In that one we have seen the logic gates and the complex logic gates. We have seen the switch logics and other alternative logics that we will be using. Then we have seen the area capacitance and what sheet resistance, etc. So this was about your previous chapter, which was one of the important chapter. Now in this chapter we are going to see a subsystem. So before move to the main topic of shifters, first we know what is meant by a subsystem. By the name itself you know what is meant by a subsystem. In a particular system, a block of that particular one is your subsystem, a part in that one. So subsystem defines or designs are building blocks to compose the layers or the larger systems. So what is a subsystem? It is a part of your larger system. So combining all this will be making one particular building block. So subsystem designs are building blocks to compose the larger systems. There are several ways in which logic gates of CMOS gate can be configured, and the different types of subsystems that we'll be using or commonly that are known for the VLSI design. That may be data type operators, like which kind of operators you are going to use, memory elements, like which kind of memory elements that you are going to use, like RAM, ROM, DRAM, SRAM, like dynamic RAM, static RAM, which kind of memory elements, and the control structures, what are the structures that are used to control your proper IC, right? Input output shells, from which you are giving the input and from where you will be getting the output. So all these components are subsystem. Then overall they will be making you a larger system. Means that larger system will be composing of your sub blocks. These are all the building blocks. Then overall they will be making your proper larger system. So in the CMOS system design, this will be involves partitioning the system to design into various functional groups. So as a subsystem also includes a small chip, or it includes a chipsets or boards or etc. or any other elements that can be used to have a complete application, right? So while implementing a CMOS subsystems, various parts must be considered, which decides the speed and density, then programmability, and a case of design for other variables. So what are the important things that have to be considered? Like these are all the subsystems, and this subsystem may also include one more small chip in your IC, right? You can also include one more small chip, a proper chip sets also you can include in that one. If your application is bigger and larger, then you can also include your boards. So while implementing your CMOS subsystems, the various parts which are to be considered very importantly, that are, the very first one is speed. Overall speed of your IC should be proper. Then you have to see the density and the programmability of that particular IC and all the other variables with respect to your applications. So these are the important subsystem. That's an introduction about your subsystems, right? So in that one we'll be having some different circuits, like combinational circuits as well as your sequential circuits. Now see what is meant by combinational circuits. See, combinational circuits are the circuits whose output is the function of the present value of the inputs only. It won't be going for the past values. See, listen very carefully. What are the combinational logic circuits? It means the output is a function of the present value of the inputs, and it has no memory. combinational logic circuits won't be having any kind of memory. It just depends upon the present input only. When it comes to your sequential circuits or sequential logical circuits, whose outputs are all depend upon the past outputs and present input, and it also includes the memory, means it will be remembering the past outputs also. Depending upon that past output, it will also be considering your present input, and it also includes a memory. So this is a difference between your combinational circuits and logical circuits. I just gave a proper a brief introduction about your subsystems, and if you go for a subsystems, what are the combinational sequential circuits or the combinational logic circuits and sequential logic circuits. Combination, in that you won't be having the memory, and it completely depends upon the present value of your input. When it comes to your sequential logic circuits, it will be depending upon the past outputs and present inputs, and it also includes our memory. So quickly we'll moving on to the next topic, the very first topic of this chapter, that is your shifters. So what is meant by a shifter? See, I have completely given the notes here. So what is meant by shifter? Shifter is nothing but, by the name itself you can see what is meant by shifter. It completely shift one thing. Okay, so the shifters are mainly used for the arithmetic operation, which will be shifting the powers or the bits by one position. If you are using a data for a simple application, then it should be shifting the data from one position, either in the clockwise, either in the anti-clockwise. That depends upon the which application you are going to use. So the simplest shifter is a shift register that shifts the data from one position to another position for a clock cycle. For one particular clock cycle, that will be shifting your data for one particular position. So the shifters are the integral parts of the VLSI subsystem and is used for arithmetic shifting, logical shifting, rotational shifting, and floating point shifting. So these shifters are integral parts of your VLSI subsystem. So it is also, shifters are also one of the important part of your VLSI design, where these shiftings can be used in arithmetic operations, arithmetic addition, subtraction, multiplication and all. Then logical operations, and an operation, rotational, it has to be rotated by like if you have to shift by one position right or one position left, so on. And floating point like 0.1s and all, in that particular algorithms also we can be using our shifters, right? So in that one, the first shifter that we are going to design, a 4-bit shifter that can be again extended to n number of bits. For the clear what we will say explanation, we are going to have a design of 4-bit shifter. Okay, so here is your shifter, that is design of an 4-bit shifter. How we are going to design a 4-bit shifter? See, in general, if you are going for an n-bit shifter, it should be able to shift the incoming data up to n-1 places. Suppose n-1 places in right shift or in the left shift direction. That I have said earlier, either in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, that depends on the particular application. So generally, if I'm using a 8-bit shifter, then it should be having the capability that it should be shifting up to 7 places. Yes, we can shift only 7th place. Again, 8th place will be the original one. Okay, so the general purpose of your n-bit shifter is that it should be able to shift the incoming data for n-1 places, either in your left direction or in the right direction. So what we have to do for that one, for the specified that all the shifts should be on end round basis, so that any bit shifted out of one end of the data word will be shifted into the other end of the data word. So then the problem of right shift and left shift can be greatly erased. So what happens if you are having n-1 places shifted? So that's the reason we can shift it to proper, because there will be no any kind of errors. See, if any bit is shifted out of one end of the data word, it will be shifted into another end of that particular data word. So what happens according to this one, the problem is generally erased. Okay, which problem? Like if you are not overlapping that one, so n-1 places it should be shifted. So now the data can be loaded from the output of ALU and shifting is effected. So then the output of each stage of the shift register would provide the required parallel output to be returned to the register array. So what happens, the best approach how we have to do the shifting is, however, for the best approach, the shifter must have input of from a 4-line data bus and 4 output lines are to be shifted. So what we are doing, we are separating 4 input line data buses will be there and 4 output lines will be there, which are where the data has to be shifted. Now means of transferring input data to output lines will be any shift from 0 to 3 bits. Like we are shifting from 0 to 3 bits. Okay, n-1 bits we have to separate as to stop all conjunction and all. So that's the reason we are having 4 input lines, 4 output lines where your data is to be shifted, and means of transferring input data to the output lines with any shift from 0 to 3 bits inclusive. So now for meeting these requirements, we should also attempt to take the best advantage of the technologies, that is availability of switch like MOS, pass transistors and the transmission gates. Okay, so what you are doing for having the better requirements for with these 3 are the requirements for the shifters. So as to get the proper shifters, we are using the MOS, pass transistors or the transmission gates. Okay, so what is the pass transistor? I hope everyone remembers pass transistors, the transistors which are connected in series. Okay, line by line we have seen in the second chapter. I'll be giving the link of that particular video also, just go through that one. So what happens for getting the better availability or to meet all these requirements that what we require, we are using the series of pass transistors. So the switches that meet all these requirements is a 4x4 cross bar switch. So this is called as your 4x4 cross bar switch. Okay, this arrangement can be exempted up to n bits. That depends upon the particular application, like you want to go for 4x4 or 5x5 or n by n. Depending upon the particular application, you can extend your or expand your number of bits. So in this arrangement, any input line can be connected to any or all output lines. I'll be showing the connections over here. So this is the one where you will be having 4x4 crossbar switch. These are the 4 input lines and these are the 4 output lines. You can connect input lines anywhere. Okay, so in this arrangement, any input line can be connected to any of the output line, or you can connect it to all of the output lines. If all the switches are closed, suppose if you are having a case that if all the switches are closed, then all the inputs are connected to the outputs in one glorious short circuit. So due to this one, you will be getting the complexity. So what we are having over here, we are saying that in this arrangement, input lines can be connected either for one output or all outputs can be connected at a time. So according to this one, if all the switches are closed, there may be a short circuit. A glorious short circuit may occur. So as to avoid that one, as to avoid that complexity which is undesirable, we can't go for that complexity. So as to avoid that one, we are going or we are adapting a new or improvement in that one. So that what we are using, the arrangement is to couple the switch gates together in the group of 4 and also 4 separate groups, that what it will be doing, which will be corresponding to the shifts that are required. Okay, we actually need to shift. What is the main agenda? That we have to shift. So as to remove all these disadvantages or the disadvantages which has been occurred in your 4x4 cross switch, that can be removed by using your barrel shifter. So this is called as your barrel shifter. You can also add a gate over here or an inverter. Fine. So this is an arrangement of your barrel shifter where you can be having a NOT gate over here. You can also arrange a NOT gate over here, right? So in this arrangement, what happens, this will be having a couple of switch gates that are together forming a group of 4 and also 4 separate groups that will be corresponding to the shifts as required. So these are the particular groups that will be requiring and they will be shifting. Okay, these groups will be shifting. These are the input lines, and according to the input lines what the application needs, that will be shifting. Okay, from here you will be getting the output ones. Okay, here you can also attach your NOR gate. So the main advantage of this shifter is that the signal has to pass through at most one transmission gate. At least one transmission gate it has to pass. Or we can also say that the propagation delay is theoretically constant and independent of the shift value of the shifter size. Okay, so this is how you will be shifting. So however, the capacitance at the input of the buffer rises linearly with the maximum shift width. So maximum shift that is required, then that can be obtained by using your barrel shifter. So this barrel shifter is a digital logical circuit that can shift a data word by a specified number of bits in one clock cycle. I'll be repeating the definition of this barrel shifter once again. Barrel shifter is a digital logic circuit that can shift a data word by specified number of bits in one data cycle, and it can be implemented as a sequence of your multiplexers. And in such implementation, output of one multiplexer is connected to input of the next multiplexer. Okay, in this way, this depends upon the shift distance, like how many times you have to shift. Here we are using 4x4 barrel shifter. It means that 4 bits you are going to shift. Right, we are using one multiplexer which is connected. You can use it as multiplexer also. We are using a transmission gates. So what happens if it is they are all interlinked. For one, at least for one gate, if you are giving the input, that will be going on and it will be shifting for 4 times. So from here, if you are giving the input, see from here again it from 1, it is 2, again it is 3, and you will be getting the shifted output at the output 3. Okay, so this is how you are going to shift. So this was about your barrel shifter. Okay, there are different two. First I have told about what is a shifter, means how at the right or left position you are going to shift. These are mainly used for the arithmetic operations. Okay, which is equivalent to the multiplexers of powers of 2 numerals or variables. And the shift, simpler shifter is shift register that shifts the data position from one position to the other for a particular clock cycle. So in that one we have seen the first one was your 4x4 cross bar switch that is having the complexity, and if all the circuits are on at a time, they will be having a glorious short circuit. So as to avoid that one, we are going for the barrel shifter. You can expand to n number of bits. I have used for explanation for 4x4 barrel shifter. So there we will be having a barrel shifter is a digital logic circuit that can shift a data word by a specified number of bits in a particular one clock cycle. Okay, this is how your barrel shifter works. Okay, it may be consist of array of transistors in which number of rows equals to word length of the data word, and the number of columns will be equal to maximum shift width. Okay, this number of columns will be showing the maximum shift width, how much width. So I am saying here we are having 4 columns, so it will be shifting into 4 times. So 4 bits it will be shifting. Okay, both set equal to the 4. So this is how you will be shifting. So I hope you are clear with the barrel shifter here. So I'll wind up the class here itself. In the next class we are going to see our next topic, that is your adders. Clear ma? In case of any doubts, please do let me know. Fine, thank you.